Now we've got that decision. We've got the decision on how to deal with them. I'm going to save before I do this, because since we are going to be doing a decision to try and annex a nation that is currently at war with someone, I don't know how that's going to react. Yes, but they appear to be losing this war rather rapidly. So what I'm going to do is issue them an ultimatum. I'm hoping that the fact they're already in a war and losing will make them more receptive. I don't know that to be the case, but I want to give it a shot. Just give in. And the Zibei have rejoined the fold. Our unification is nearing completion. Mongolia managed to yoink a few territories off of them. But we got... yeah, Mongolia managed to get some territories off of them, but we finished our deal and got them fully absorbed before things got too messy. What I'm going to do now is strategically redeploy a few troops over to Tibet, because the Tibetans are my next target. I'm also going to start redeploying forces along the border with the Yunnan, because the Yunnan are also a target that I would like to consider going after. Mongolia, they can wait. And I'm going up to very fast for our speed. The Olympics have begun. And Mongolian propaganda is currently in an overdrive, trying to portray a three-sided peace treaty they signed between themselves, the Zibei, and the Qing Empire as some sort of victory, even though it was nothing of the sort. The New Reformation. With the New Year's speech of Emperor Puyi, the Qing Empire has entered into the New Reformation. This at first seems simple, but the choices of where to go are adding up. How shall the Empire start this new phase? We have reforming our industry and begin expanding the military. Are the two that I'm considering. It all depends, of course, on how aggressive we want to be, because we're going to have to begin expanding our military eventually, but it depends on whether or not we consider the military or our industry to be the priority. And I'm going to go with this one. Industrialization. We need an industrial base if we are to become a world power, I think is what that says. It kind of goes off the box a little bit, so I can't really see it. But yeah, I think that's what it says. And we really do need industry, because the Qing Empire, and China in general, does not start out in a very industrially viable position. And I'd say it's fairly important to do something about that, which is what I'm working on. Destroying the Shangqing forts. This is to do with the Qing that we defeated in that first war. Because they had a bunch of forts on the border that were part of what was impeding our progress, and we're going to smash them so rebels can't use them. They were destroyed by our invincible army, but in some parts of their state, the forts remained everywhere. These are useless for us, but some rebels will use them against us. We will destroy them, and it gets rid of all the land fortifications there. And it's in a central location that's not going to border any nation that'll be a real problem for us for any significant amount of time. Mongolia's just said no to a pan-Mongolian empire and just develop our territories, basically, is what that seems to be. Okay. Reforming our industry. Puyi decided to press building industry into our reforms. Who should run these factories, the state or foreigners? Let's see. It depends on whether or not. Depends on how much we are interested in central planning and how much I really want these couple of blueprints, and I think I very much want the blueprints. We're going for state industry just because of the fact that I get a couple of very nice blueprints off of it for some industrial technologies to speed up the research, even though that research will already be kind of fast because it's so far behind the times. It's not even funny how backwards the Qing Empire is at the start of the game. Like I said in the introduction, we basically start out about 20 years behind in technology from the modern day. Our infantry technology, for God's sake, we start out with pre-World War I infantry divisions and pre-World War I tanks too, and artillery. It's ridiculous. That's why I considered this start to be such a challenge, just because all our technology is so backwards when we start out. End of the Olympics. After all, everything ends, so do the Olympics. We haven't won any medals. The lack of proper funding was very visible. Opposition claims that the government had failed to prepare our sportsmen, and we gain 2 dissent for that. But that puts us up to 2 dissent. We're losing 0.03 every day. So we're not exactly in a bad position as far as dissent goes. Oh, we have one space right there that's not being covered, I see. But I don't want to redeploy anyone else right now. first thing I'm gonna do is save the game before we go any further. And now, hopefully I've gotten it right as far as where everyone's troops will be able to go to. Now we're going to declare war on Tibet. It's time for the invasion of Tibet. It will cost us 11% descent, but I'm willing to take the hit. Once again, we'll lower the speed from very fast to fast. Just so I can keep an eye on things. We don't need to do much as far as fighting this war goes, because against Tibet with the forces we have available, we literally just walk in. Our 1931 infantry is done. We can research 1936 infantry. We're getting up to modern infantry divisions, finally. What I'm going to start doing now is researching aircraft. Because of one reason. Japan. Japan has a pretty significant air force, and eventually, unless I give up on my dream of a totally reunified China, meaning reclaiming Manchuria and driving them off of their territories in this sort of area, unless I give up on that and on Taiwan, we'll end up at war with Japan eventually. And to fight the Japanese, you need to have a pretty significant air force. So I need a modern air force. Our air force right now is World War I era technology. So I need to do something about that pronto-like. But right now, we've devastated the Tibetan forces on the borders, and they're falling back. It's taking our soldiers a while to arrive at their objective points, but they'll eventually get there. Research into artillery 1921 so we can keep going down the tank line. Yeah, they'll eventually get there, and when they do, we will overrun Tibet with ease, as we are technically already doing. But, and I didn't say anything about it at the time just because I don't typically mention things that don't happen, because I'm more focused on the things that do happen, but anyone who's paying too much attention will have noticed that we did not get Black Monday. The Qing Empire does not suffer from what's effectively the Kaiserreich version of the Great Depression. That's not a problem that we have. So, unlike a nation like Russia, which, while nowhere near as technologically or industrially backwards as the Qing Empire, does start out in a little bit of a problem state. We have the advantage of not having to deal with the economic problems that come from Black Monday. So that gives us a little bit of an edge, and it's an edge I'm going to take full advantage of. Now, where are their victory points? Just the capital now? So, march on. That little province there can stay unoccupied. We don't need it. Troops will be arriving shortly. And we are enjoying victory on all fronts. This is also one of the nice things about playing as a nation like the Qing Empire. You're surrounded by a bunch of very weak opponents. So you have the opportunity to get a little bit of combat experience with enemies that aren't much of a challenge. You don't have to jump immediately into major battles, like fighting against the Germans, or to use an actual Kaiserreich example, the Civil War as the United States. Because the United States, unlike in vanilla Darkest Hour or Hearts of Iron in general, the US is actually quite a hard start, because within a year of starting the campaign as the United States, you get thrust into a three-way civil war against two separate factions. Mongolia set up a couple of tributary states, have they? So I see. It said they set up two, but I'm only seeing one, though. That's kind of bizarre. Oh well. Tibet is offering us peace. I'm gonna refuse. I will settle for nothing less than their total annexation into the empire. That industrial research is done. We're going to move on to the next level, because I need to get my industry up to modern standards. It's kind of vital that we have modern industry. They'll arrive August 11th. They'll arrive August 18th. I'll just send both and just make sure things happen the way we want it to. And you can just attack into there. I don't need to, and these soldiers aren't about to be able to do anything, but I'm still gonna do it. I'll just send the troops we've got on the border in to smash some more of the Tibetan armies. Still, literally just a walkover. Right. We're approaching total victory against Tibet, and not that it's been a long or hard fight or anything, but it'll be nice to be at peace again, even if it's just because I yoinked Tibet after a pretty short war that lasted maybe a couple months. Because, yeah, I think you can call any war a short war that lasts for less than a year. That's not a war. It's a minor disagreement that involved the exchange of gunfire. If it lasts less than a year. Let's be honest. A war that's not even a year long isn't a war. Like I said, it's a disagreement that involves gunfire. But yes. Okay, they're gonna have to keep moving. Right now, relocating a couple of my units of troops because I plan to go after Bhutan and Nepal. Even though they aren't part of the Chinese Empire that we have, or territories we have claims on. I think this is a case in which expanding into our neighbors' lands is something we want to do. We want to reclaim, or rather, we want to claim new territories. Let's see. Korea requests aid. The Korean government in exile has asked us for military and political aid against Japan. Might be wise to send them aid to keep the Japanese off balance. It could mean that Japan guns for us sooner rather than later. Well, we really don't like Japan, and right now we have the guarantee of our independence from the Germans. So that is going to keep us in a nice place as far as keeping the Japanese at bay, because they won't want a war with the Germans this early. So indeed, full aid and support shall be given. We'll lose 50 relations with the Japanese, but who gives a damn? I don't think the Japanese liked us much anyways. We'll lose 5 manpower and a bunch of our supply income for a little while. And supplies. And we have some Russian people stirring up trouble in the Ukraine. Who knows? Because I definitely care about the Ukraine. Right now, Japan is having a little situation. Not only is Korea about to face an uprising, not only is Korea about to revolt, but so is Taiwan. Little bit of knowledge from other playthroughs there. So is Taiwan, and depending on the decisions that occur, potentially Transamur and the Fentian Republic can go up in flames as well. And if the Fentians choose to revolt, there is a chance, though I don't know what the precise odds are, that the leader of the Fentian Republic will then choose to align himself with us, and then we will take control of that territory for ourselves, which will then make it doubly important that we take over Mongolia, because if we have that, and then Mongolia, we will be able to link up all our territories. Of course, this is all hypothetical. The Fentian Republic might not revolt, and if they do, they might not choose to come to us to join the Empire. Anything could happen, really. Anything could happen. Tibet has been defeated. Our glorious armies have completed the conquest of Tibet. With the current Dalai Lama on the run before our forces, there is no one left who can oppose our rule in Tibet. Good, and those are now national provinces. And we lose a bit of dissent. Now, we redeploy troops, and we're sitting on the border with with Bhutan and Nepal. Now, let's give the game a quick save. And I will declare war on Bhutan. 1% dissent, apparently. I can deal with 1% dissent. We'll have one of our armies attack, and the other can support the attack. We'll crush Bhutan and claim it for our own. And I sort of clicked over this, but the United States went with invite the military to step in to save the country in a day in September. So the US decided to not go ahead with the 1936 elections under the unstable situation that was going on. And instead they decided to invite Douglas MacArthur in to take over as the military dictator of the US. That's essentially what that is. Douglas MacArthur is now the dictator of the United States. So, you'll have to see where that goes, won't you? And they've had a crackdown on the CSA, so the communist elements in the United States are now experiencing military crackdown. How nice for them. Improved Welt Creek hospital systems here is the research option I'm going for next, which should help with our manpower, cutting down on the attrition, and it also improves something called a trickleback modifier, but I gotta be honest, I have no idea what that is. I really haven't got a clue. And, of course, the US Army and the CSA are busy fighting each other. The Shangqing has been defeated event. Blah 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 has been crushed under the boots of our glorious soldiers. You're a little too late with giving me that event game. It's been months since I crushed those idiots. So you really are too late. Also, Bhutan, congratulations. You are now part of the Chinese Empire.